Welcome to our first official sneak preview, we could say, and meeting, formal, informal, in a distance for our MSc in on Health Management and Data Intelligence. So I'm Florencio Travieso. You can see my name over there. We wanted to have our co-director also here, Benjamin Dalmas. Actually, he is in the attendees, but we haven't been able, and that's my fault, we haven't been able to introduce him as a moderator. And I am not a super extensive geek to be able to, I haven't learned so much how to connect different people in the software. So my apologies for that. What I advise you to do, I'm going to be doing this conversation almost like a monologue. I'm going to keep it short, more or less short, and I'm going to tell you what I want to do today. I'm going to introduce you to the main contents of our program. Okay, most of you know, but we wanted to share some new things, and at least be closer to you and share some of the new elements that we're going to be including, and also hear your questions and any doubts and so on. So you might be, you've shown interest, you are registered, so you are part of our team now. So we would like you to be able to ask any questions. I'm going to try to turn this slide, maybe this is better. Okay, so let's start to explain, to show basically, and to introduce both schools, okay? So the origin of this program is interesting because it comes from the interest of two very big schools, of course, EMLYON from my side, and Mines Saint-Etienne. I call the Mines Saint-Etienne, this amazing engineering school in Saint-Etienne. So we are using both elements. We're using both expertise to make this program, and we are very happy. We're finishing our first year, first cohort of students, and we're very, very happy with them. I believe they're happy with the program too. We've learned so much together, and we have developed an amazing team, both with the students and with our groups that work with us. So basically, the goal of the program is to mix the best of two schools. Mines Saint-Etienne has this capacity of research, of technical equipment, of knowledge on medical and biotechnological new trends, and EMLYON Business School has this amazing and very thriving power to create and to learn and to develop new management techniques for our students. So when we create this program, the goal is to have a combination of management with technical capacities, okay? So we want to create what we call, we want to write it, because I always say this, and everybody probably says every time, we're creating what we call crossover professionals. And we love this term because crossover professionals are professionals in the industry, in the healthcare industry, but also in the tech industry, that are going to be able to communicate and to be the interface, right, with different sectors or elements in the industry. So you will be finishing our program, and you will be able to talk about healthcare in different parts of the world. You'll be able to talk about data. You'll be able to talk about ethics. You'll be able to talk about machine devices, machine learning. You'll be able to talk about artificial intelligence. So basically, you're going to have all this amount of knowledge, and also with the capacity of managing groups, managing teams. Okay, we are training you to be a high-end, a very high-quality manager. Okay, so this is what we're grabbing from both schools. Just interrupt me whenever you want through a chat. Okay, please. That way we can have a sort of, I can answer your questions and doubts. So here we have two images of the campus of EMLYON. So on the left, that's the learning hub in EQLI in the Lyon area. And on the right hand side, we have the campus, the technical campus of Saint-Etienne. I would love Benjamin to give us some data. And that's the technical campus, where part of our program is going to be some seminars, particular seminars in the second trimester are going to be offered in the Saint-Etienne campus, okay, which is around 45 minutes from EQLI. But we're going to be having specific dates, okay? You're going to go through all the day, and then you spend the whole day with our professors over there. So let me show you or talk about the program. So one thing that we have to talk about is the involvement of different companies in this program. There has been a very important involvement of these companies who have basically motivated us and asked the schools to develop this program because they felt that there was a need for these professionals, okay? These companies felt that we needed to develop professionals that can deal with all these matters, okay? So these companies participate with us during the program. These companies participate with us in class, also participate with us, some of them. They participate with us by giving us advice on the contents that should be considered in the courses. So basically, we discuss with them all the time. Some of them are friends, and we have this sort of back and forth to learn and to not to miss any element that we have to discuss in our courses. So here we have the goals and objectives. So we discuss them basically. You will become connectors. You will be able to have this sort of dual capacity, okay? You'll be able to manage teams, to understand the technology, to implement new technology, to understand the risks from a technical perspective and from a managerial perspective. Some questions that you might say, and we will discuss it in the next slide. On the next slide is, okay, I have a background on, I don't know, nutrition or diagnosis, imagery. What am I going to do? So basically, those guys who have a background on, let's say, public health or health, they will be complementing their background by basically boosting their knowledge to the technical approaches, and at the same time, they're going to complete their profile with management capacities, okay, managerial capacities. Let me show you the next slide. Okay, in the next slide, we have some example of the background of our students. Okay, so here you have different backgrounds. Okay, international. So we have the typical management side, and some of you would be identifying as, okay, I'm there, right? Background of general background of business or management and different sides. We have people from finance, and basically the goal in our program is going to be to combine those two backgrounds. Okay, both from the management sector and also the health and the technical sector. Okay, so those who have management, they will be basically boosting their knowledge on the technical parts, and those who have a technical basis, they will complement other technical contents and knowledge and competencies, and then bringing all the management capacities as well. Okay. Normally, the first, we will see later, but normally the first introductory trimester is going to be where we discuss more on the management contents, and then we will get more and more technical as we advance in the timeline. Okay. Let me know if there's any questions, please. Okay, I move forward. This is our sort of vision. We call it a 360 approach, 360 degrees approach. We cover everything. We cover everything. We cover as much as we can, okay? And here we have sort of the different elements. We have a specific added value that not other programs have. And these added value is that we care about strategic approach, management approach, an international approach, a hands-on approach, and working with companies, hands-on with companies. Did I say international? You could add it. We work with the idea of you becoming international managers, okay? Or if you work in France, you will have a sort of international mindset, okay? We have this, we will discuss this in detail in a second, but we will have practical learning tools on management, which is going to be happening at the beginning of the trimester, on a course that is called, we have it there, no, it's called Transforming Early Makers. Now, Transforming Early Makers, or TEM, as we call it, TEM, is going to be a boost, a moment where we're going to be a boost, sort of a boot camp on management and innovation and disruptive projects. And I will discuss about this in a second. And that is where you're going to be developing all your capacities from a management perspective, okay? We have those tools. We have different campuses in worldwide, different professors that are going to be coming from different sectors, both academic, professional, okay? Former CEOs, so very complete areas of the industry. We have the immersive trips, right? We have the trip to, of course, the trimester in Shanghai. We also have the wonderful learning trip experience in Boston, USA, okay, Massachusetts. It's going to be mind-changing. And I've seen students this year that told me everything changed after we came back from Boston. Everything changed. I understood what I wanted to do. I understood what I wanted to, what path I wanted to pursue. So that was amazing to see that sort of consequence from the trip. And the trip was wonderful. I will discuss it in a second as well. And then we have the in-company project, ICP, that is going to be held on the Shanghai trimester. Sorry. Okay, and move on, move on. So one of our goal, of course, is to guarantee you to have this capacity to develop careers, to develop your career, your capacity, your future jobs, okay, and that's our goal. Now we have different elements, different layers to support this employability side. Number one, career services. It's an in-house EMLYON career services that will accompany you throughout the time when you're in studying. Okay, so let's say you want to check or verify your CV, career services. You want to learn how to pitch yourself in an interview, career services. You want to learn how to basically coach somebody coaching you to express yourself, career services. Give you ideas of what companies might be available there. They are organizing as well meetings with companies, okay, for the sector. We're also suggesting which companies should be part of this sort of meetings. There are events like what we call vocation days in Italy, where companies from the health sector will come in the rooftop, in the bar, in the cafeteria area, and you will be able to interact and exchange with them to learn more about the companies. And those companies will later be probably offering or looking for interns. Okay, so that's important. We have that those events. We have also the alumni. Okay, all our graduates, over 20,000 graduates around the world, who are also participating and helping us in this activity. Let me move on. If you saw the brochure, you probably have seen this. What are the positions that you might be encountering in the future? Okay. And we have their consulting areas, project manager, management of projects on any of the topics. This, of course, interface roles, ethics compliance manager, and data privacy as well in the particular sector. So the areas are very wide open. And we advise you to be able, I would say, to be aware of this, where you want to go and how to build your career, your profile throughout the months, okay, of the program, because we want you to be able to develop your profile not at the end of the program, but all throughout the time of the program. Meaning that I don't know, if you come from a sector of let's say dentists, you're a dentist, which could be considered a very niche or very like a particular sector. Okay, we will try to work on expanding your medical / healthcare horizon. Okay, so that's important. So we'll try to expand it and to broaden your spectrum so that you can have more access to different companies. All right, let's do one thing with everybody that is online now. Could you, some of you, share your background? Okay, we saw the backgrounds just now. Share, for instance, who has background from, I don't know, maybe nutrition, or who has background from biosciences. Can you share your backgrounds or your, let's see, biomedical engineer, wonderful. So those guys, I see another health science. Okay, I think you all see the pharmacies. There you go. So wonderful. So all these, we need to complement your profiles. You see what I mean? Pharmacy, good. We need to complement your profiles to say, okay, those who work in pharmacy, then you need to complement on data and security on data or privacy and so on and so forth. Basically, that way you broaden your spectrum. Never, don't leave that behind, because it's your job, you could say, to tell us how can we boost your profile and make it a real, 360-degree profile. Okay, there you go. And then we have the business guys, and Jean-Baptiste. He has a work experience in digital dentistry. I remember you, Jean-Baptiste. How are you? So it's amazing. So those, we need to basically take your profile and boost it and enlarge it. Okay. So we will work on that, and we want you to be confident in telling us whenever you need this sort of exchange, okay, or coaching. We tend to coach all these students throughout the year. Let's move on with some elements on the academic content. We have a picture of our group in one of our sessions. Okay, in Equilibre. So here's the layout that you probably also saw on the brochure. Okay. Let's see if I can annotate here. I'll make some drawings probably. Let's see, okay. So here's where we start. Okay, you have some online courses that we're going to be sharing throughout, most likely around August, September. Okay, you might have access to the school. Let's see. I have a message from. I know that I could include Benjamin. I'm trying to think. How can I go? Let me see 1 second. If I'm trying to invite Benjamin into this. Let me see if I can go here. And you're telling me to go to Zoom account. Yeah, but I think can invite him, but I cannot. When I see the Zoom web portal that you're talking about, it's not the same. We have the video here, the image of the academic track. So we begin with the what we call the fundamentals. Okay, at the beginning of the course, which are going to be online. There's a part of online courses that are going to be given at the beginning in September that you will have to complete online. Okay, you might want to. Benjamin Dalmas is on the phone now. I will ask you to stop here to stop the sound of myself on your side, Benjamin, and you can say hi to the people. Benjamin, can you hear me? Yeah, I just have to. Can you hear Benjamin? Probably, I hope you can. You have to speak very loud. I will put. Can you confirm if you can hear Benjamin, please? I don't know if they can hear you, but we're trying. Okay. Should I move on? All right. So we have these courses right there are online, and then we enter into the September courses here. Mainly, we're going to be working on the introductory part and the transforming early makers track. The TEM track, the transforming early makers track, is going to be based on basically developing all these new capacities on you. Okay, creating a new project and so on. But I'm going to discuss that later. Okay, and then you have the first fundamental courses that are going to be here, more or less introductory, and also based on some management courses and some introductory courses. Okay, this is the first, you could say, the first few weeks, and then we will go in December. We have the learning trip. Okay, learning trip in December, and when we come back, we finish the trimester, and then we begin the next trimester at the end of in January to develop both more specific elements on artificial intelligence and devices and so on. And seminars in Mines Saint Etienne. So that we're going to lead us throughout the month of January, February, March, and then we are now in the period of exams. You guys finish the exams now, and normally we will go to Shanghai. We go to Shanghai from the month of April. Okay, April next year, 2021. We go to Shanghai to have basic seminars over there, and 3 months. So April, June, July, April, May, June, and after the end of June, you might be able to go back to, either you come back to France, you go back to your country, or you transition into your internship, right? That you're going to be able to produce your graduate thesis and your internship around that time, okay? And normally you will be graduating on February of 2022, if I am not wrong. Yes, February 2022. After you have completed your graduate thesis. So that's the layout of the transition. How long is the learning trip to the USA? Thank you. That's 10 days all in all. And I will give you some data on the learning trip in a second. And I will show you some pictures and we will discuss. Learning trip December. Normally, first it's set on the first 10 days, first 15 days of December. Okay. And that's another story, okay? We'll discuss, but normally, just for information, the learning trip is included in your tuition fees, okay? So we pay for the flight, we pay for your hotel, okay? The only expenses on your side is basically what your living expenses, transportation and basic foods that you have. And move on. We're going to talk about the learning trip in a second. Now, I want to show you this selection of courses divided in mainly in the three trimesters, okay? Trimester here 1, trimester 2, and 3, okay? So that's the idea. What we do is in the first block we have introductory courses, and then in the second block we have more technical, and then the third one we have more the analysis on the Asian context. Let me take this away. And I'll show you here two new elements that were not in the last year courses. We have included a Python bootcamp. Okay, so there's going to be a module on Python for all those interested in programming. It's going to be a basic, well, I would say basic course on learning how to program on the basic elements and apply all this knowledge on courses. And then another course on applied data analytics in the second semester. So this is interesting because some of you were requiring or demanding to have your profiles completed with these capacities. I don't know if Benjamin, you want to say something about these two courses, the new courses that we have included now?
Yeah, but I don't know if someone can hear me, but in any case, yeah, we included this new Python bootcamp and data analytics in the sense that you require, in addition to general data intelligence knowledge, a little bit of practice into the development code of developing, which can be like real assets when you look for a job, when you search for like an internship position in comparison to other people that might have only health management or abstract data intelligence skills, like hands-on the real stuff in data, which can be good.
Correct. I'm writing here. If you okay, I will find a solution for his audio right there. So those are the new two courses that we have included, which is a very interesting new element. Let's talk about our campuses. We have the campus on EQLI and Lyon, which is going to be very interesting for us to basically bring you to basically we are in Lyon. We have the capacity to be close to many areas in the sector. So basically, we can access many companies very easily, and we have access to. This is also very positive for us. What else? We have visits from partners and experts that are coming from either Lyon or Switzerland. We have done some visits. Barely, yeah. We will try to. I think the volume on Measurement is going to be better now. We have done this year. We have done a visit to IBM to learn about IBM Watson and all the healthcare capacities in Paris. And we will also do other visits next year as well. So which we will probably change them. Okay. So the Shanghai experience, which is going to be the third trimester, Shanghai experience. We will have, that should be April, June 2021. We will include all these courses that are going to be analyzing the Asian environment, okay, the Asian healthcare environment. So it's very basically interesting in terms of a cultural element, in terms of a new academic context, and in terms of a new industry approach, okay? We've seen that companies are very interested in you having this additional additional profile, okay, knowledge of the Asian markets, okay, and the Asian way, the way that the Asian market is using the new technology. Learning trip, okay. Halim, you may ask more questions if you want. So, learning trip on December. I can show you very quickly here. I can explain to you the goals. We went to Boston, Massachusetts, and we stayed around the area of what we call Kendall Square, the Kendall Square ecosystem, where all the startups are developing their activities, and there's a pharmaceutical, bioscience entities. So we have had meetings with both from people from companies to startups, angel investors, academics, and so on. So we have a very loaded week with also with visits to different entities and companies. So we have a mix, okay, a mix of sort of courses, lectures, exchanges, visits to companies, practical hands-on operations. Sometimes visits, we walk around Harvard or the Kendall Square area. We networking, we have meetings with all the French Chamber of Commerce. Here you see a few pictures of, these were sent by one of our students. So you see, yeah, this is the first one on the left side is, yeah, typically the Kendall Square area. That's the bus leads to Harvard, of course. The second one is a meeting that we had in a company, in a startup that was working with devices and measuring heart rate and their diagnosis. The third one is the MIT, no, the Cancer Research Center. And these are pictures that I used to they usually have like a small gallery over there. And the last one, I think it's the CIC. The CIC is still a square too. So we had a great time in our learning trip, and it's a great moment to, yeah, to interact more on a day-to-day basis. Okay, we go to a hotel, we stay all together, and we normally meet in the afternoon. Sometimes we share time. Sometimes we go to have dinner or have some drinks. So it's more relaxed moment, which leads to more new interactions and better link between ourselves. It's still academic, of course, but it's closer. We end up getting very close with all our students and a different relationship. It's more like a professional relationship in all those times. For your information, so yeah, we go 10 days. We arrive, I don't remember this time, we arrived, I think on a Saturday. We had this Sunday to get into, jet laggish. And then we worked from Monday or through the week. And then we stayed a couple more days at the end of the week. So basically you have the last Friday off, and then Saturday, and I think we left either on Sunday morning or Saturday night. So you have like a day, you had like, all in all, probably you have like around 3 days off, and sometimes an afternoon that we leave for you to go either shopping or walking around or visit or whatever. Okay. Normally the activities end up around 5-6 p.m. So normally the early afternoon is okay. Bear in mind that it's cold and dark, but still it's a great time to visit the US. Any questions on the learning trip from your side, please? So this year, for the next year, for this year, we don't have still the final program. We could eventually, tell you what we did the previous year. Eventually, once we are in. Yes, there's one you can try. Can you do it again? Can you raise your hand again? Okay, raise hand. Participants. Okay, let me see. Ah, I got you. Let's see where is. Okay, can you talk? Benjamin?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Talk louder.
Maybe we can go on like this. Does everyone hear me at least? Yep, that's great.
Hello, Benjamin?
We did it. I think you can go on, Lorenzo.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Please.
Do you hear me, Lorenzo? Hello, hello.
Can you, hello? Can you hear me, everyone? Good. All right.
Yeah.
I move on. I think I advanced, or let's see. So we're talking about the learning trip and then the in-company project. When we go to Shanghai, there's going to be a sort of consultancy program that is going to be basically allowing us to create a project a consulting project with the company. So we'll be able to, for instance, create have a project, discuss a project with the company, and then basically solve the problem. So that's what we will do in the in-company project in Shanghai. It's like a consultancy project that is happening in real time during your courses in Shanghai. Benjamin, can you talk now?
Yeah. You hear me? He's hearing me, but you.
Okay, there's a question here on the in-company project. Yeah, the in-company project doesn't relate to luxury related topics, not at all. The in-company project relates to real questions that companies will provide us with. Okay, so basically we will have we will go to a Chinese company, and we will see, for instance, they will give us topics and problems that we will have to, for instance, solve. And then each group will create a sort of solution or develop a project to solve those questions. Okay, so that's going to be a very interesting project to run. Right. Let's see if there's any more questions. I'm trying to get used to this sort of environment. You see the question from Sylvia. I tried to answer it. If you have any more questions, you can click on the Q&A as well. Right. Okay. The internship is right after the Shanghai experience. Okay. So meaning that normally we begin to look for internships. Ideally, we prefer you to look for internships right after the learning trip, basically to start this search. And what we do is we help you to find. We help in the sense that you find an internship on your own, but we'll try to accompany you whenever you need some help. Okay. During the internship, can be 4 or 6 months, you're going to be able to develop your interests to do a research. And we also advise that during the internship, you should spend some time preparing the final research or graduation thesis, okay? It's very advisable to do that at the same time, because it will help you to compare and to see all the potential problems that you may have. And you will be guided, you will be guided by someone from the school, and you will be guided from someone by the company, okay? The TEM, the Transforming Library Makers track that we do at the beginning, I'm just going to share with you, but before that, here are some pictures of our courses. We have different professors or persons sharing their knowledge. Here we have a EMLYON, and we have Pierre Bouchard is also from a company, and we from Mearsons as well. So we have different companies participating in the projects. So in Transforming Library Makers, what we try to do is to provide, in this case, a topic. We will change this time. This year we will change the approach. We will have a different 5 or 6 topics, more 7 probably so far, different topics to investigate. I will share with you the topics in the next slide. And the idea is that you, the groups, will create solutions, okay? Solutions for this new process. Let me show you. You will work in groups, and you will be coached by persons that are either professionals, either professors from different schools, our schools, or Saint Etienne, and also some external advisors. So here are some of the topics that we are developing for this following year. Basically, what we will do is throw these topics on telehealth, digital transitioning, medical crisis management. That could be pandemics, if you want. Innovation in nutrition, and we also discuss topics on health, cancer, and addictions. And basically, the idea is that we will give you these topics. I see the question. We will give you these topics, and then you will have to figure out a sort of proposition. Okay, a proposition to make it better, a proposition to change it, a proposition to apply it in real life. It's going to be quite free, and we will allow it. You, the group, with the coach, with the coaches, you will be able to develop those ideas. I see the question from Jean-Baptiste. He says, is the TEM program about business issues from real companies? We will work together with. We're going to change. So are the TEM issues real issues from companies? They are not from real companies, but they are themes and topics that apply to companies. So when we talk about telehealth, actually what we're trying to tackle here is 2 things, basically. Is distance diagnosis, and the problem in France, which is that areas in France that do not have enough doctors or medical professionals. So what we're trying to say is, okay, what solutions do you think we can create beyond telehealth, beyond video diagnosis, that could be an interesting one, that could be either applicable for a new company or complementing an existing company that already works with telehealth. You see, so that is the open ideas that we have. So this is basically the goal of TEM. TEM is going to start around September, and then right away you will have modules on theory, on management, on technical functionalities like how to operate with the devices, how to link devices with software, or how to link the problematic of devices with the problematic of business. You'll have some contents on finance, some contents on entrepreneurship, some contents on developing businesses, business development, and also I will probably be teaching a block on blockchain, okay, a module on blockchain, because it applies, for instance, for e-prescriptions and so on. So Benjamin will also probably be talking about devices in that first block. We hear any more questions if you want. I move on, maybe. Yes, there you go. Any questions? Do you have any questions? Let's see. Benjamin, I don't know if your mic is open and if you can talk.
Mine should be. Do you hear me?
I see one question. It says, do students have elective courses in this program? There are no elective courses in this program. No, they're not. Let me see how to put it. No, we don't have normally we don't have a specialization. Normally when you have elective courses, you have a specialization. We don't offer these elements. Are the trips to the US and China threatened by the coronavirus crisis? Interesting question. What is coronavirus? Are threatened. We don't know. If you, Charlotte, if you can see the future, I would love to know. Today, this is what we know today, December in the USA is not a problem today, March 31st. I really don't believe that today going to the US in December is a problem. We are planning, so today the trip to the US in December is on. We are already planning a trip on April 2021, which is basically, that's the trip to China on next year. I'll go to the next, there you go. Apologies for with the pandemic happening right now, are we still planning for a September start? There's nothing that says the contrary. So normally we are full on for September. There's no reason to, I mean, today there's nothing that says that the intake in September is going to be impacted by a potential continuation of the coronavirus. I do not. I mean, I hope. I want to believe that that will not be an issue. That's the Dania Rida question. I'm going to click on this. Dania, I hope I answered the question. Moving on, considering the coronavirus situation, will students still take the online courses in 2020 fall? I don't understand why it's still there. If you can, anonymous attendee, I don't know, if you can clarify maybe or complete your question. Because today, you're talking about the students today. So I can tell you about this. For our current first year, okay, for the current students right now, they will not go to China, to Shanghai in April. Okay, so we have developed the first alternative that was set to be in Montreal, in Canada, that could not, as many other programs, okay, all the other MSc Inns and MSc programs were starting to develop new alternatives, and then some of our students are going to be having an online distance learning course in April, starting now, in a few weeks after Easter, actually. we have some distance learning on with contents coming from China, some contents coming from the USA, and some contents coming from Canada. So this is what we are preparing for as an alternative for them. Other students will be going to China later on next year. How many students will be admitted this year in this program? How many Chinese students do you plan to recruit? Okay. How many students are we? We have a target of having around, you could say, around 40 students, 40, okay? Between 35 and 42, 43, let's say. We are there. We would like to have a small group, okay? Small-ish group. For your information, this year we have 16 students. So we believe that going up to 40 is a good amount. We like to keep it personal, okay? And 40 is something that 40 is a number that will allow us to be direct, to allow us to have a good contact with them. So, and says, how many Chinese students do you plan to recruit? I mean, there's no quota of you know, we don't have a limit, or we don't have an amount. Naturally, I would say that there is a 10% students from Asia, I would say. From China, I wouldn't say there's a specific amount. I don't have them, you know, top of my head, the percentages or the quotas. I would say that, to give you an idea, today we have 8 nationalities. I think for the next year, unless Natalie, who is online, who could give us the exact the different nationalities or the number of nationalities, I would say that we are around 8-10 nationalities. Do we have a limit on recruitment of Chinese students? No. If you ask me how many do we have now, I'd say probably we have around 4 or 5. I would say. Charlotte asks, just out of curiosity, why EMLYON has decided to have a campus in China, precisely, and not Japan or South Korea, for instance. Countries that are also developed regarding are also well developed regarding new technologies. Listen, yeah, the Shanghai campus is a very, but the Asian environment is very important. It's very disruptive, it's very fast, it's very thriving in development. Nothing against Japan or South Korea. I think to answer your question from a more positive perspective, I would say I would love to introduce those 2 Japan and South Korea approaches in our Asian trimester. So I mean, what I'm trying to say is that that we could introduce the themes, right? The themes on the problematic from China, from Asia, and from South Korea in our courses. So I'm going to clear this and clear this. I saw a question of type of computers. Yeah, it's the same, right? It's the same.
Yeah, that's
Mac or
basically the
Windows.
same.
I
No
don't
problem.
think I have any, no, yeah.
Yeah, either Mac or Windows.
Jean-Baptiste, okay, Charlotte, this we answered. This we answered. Jean-Baptiste asks, could you share some insights with us about the future internships jobs of the first cohort? For those who already know, are we going to have some opportunities to meet them, to connect at some point in the program? Okay, internships. Listen, I don't want to disclose company names. I don't think it's appropriate. I'd say that I'm happy. I say we are happy. We are happy for them. We're happy for the companies. I would say that some of the companies that were participating with us during the year have recruited our students as interns. Okay, if I had to say a rate of achievement of internships, I think we are fine. We are fine. I would say 60+% of students are or advanced in their search. Then the coronavirus issue probably has an impact on the final confirmation, concluding the internship issues, but it doesn't look that bad, let's say. We have been suggesting some companies to them as well, or some pointers, like leads. Okay, so I'll get to your question, Andrea, in a second. Are we going to have some opportunities to meet with them and connect at some point? Of course, you can connect with them. We might do, this is the first time that I do this webinar. And one thing that I don't like is to talk alone like this. And it's sort of like a monologue. I'm not talking alone, but I only hear my voice. And I wish I would hear your voices, which are probably.
I think you can allow them to speak.
So
if you want.
next time, because I will tell you later, but next time we're going to do a different thing, more informal-ish Zoom thing where we all can talk. Okay. Give me 1 second, Sylvia. What else? We just to give you an idea, I want to do a meeting probably next month. I want to do a meeting ideally every month. Okay. We said we could do a meeting every month. That way we can have a chat for an hour and take, basically your feelings and so on. Because some of you, most of you are either in or about to be in program. So for me, we are all already working for you. So we will set a date for next month so we can do a more interactive thing where you can all speak and so on. That's the question of Jean-Baptiste. Back, Andrea, can the internship be replaced by a full-time job? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. So it can. Yes, it's either first job, either internship. I saw that Sylvia, I don't know if you want to ask a question or you want to talk. If I allow you to talk, I don't think I'm going to be able to listen to you. Would you like to ask the question? Or what? I see. I see. Can you just read back? I want to stop the sharing of the slides, I think. I have a nice picture here. Apps. I'm showing myself very. I want to show you this picture. Any other questions? Okay, you clicked the wrong button. Good to know. Any more questions? I would love to hear from you. Yeah, this is scheduled daily basis, or like we have specific days per week in the first and second trimester. Normally, you have courses on almost every day. I would say we're finalizing. I'll tell you what we're doing. We're finalizing the scheduling now. From here to end of May will be finalized, but we saw the first idea. The first trimester, you will have probably, yeah, I would say 4 full days of class per week. And then we might, sometimes we try to leave either Friday off or afternoon or Friday off. That's not mandatory, okay? It's what we try to do, basically to alleviate. And then it's not super loaded, okay? We have classes in the morning from 8:30 through 11:45, and then from 1:45 to 5 p.m. So you start at 8:30 and you finish at 5 p.m. That's a full day technically. Okay, you might have maybe one more hour and a half at the end, but normally it's around that time. And then the courses are not necessarily super, they're not fixed every week on the same day. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Some courses are organized as seminars. Some courses are like 3 days. Some courses are more sequential throughout the trimester, linked to the pedagogical approach. Okay, sometimes we rather have the course done sometimes more on a close basis, closer, and at times it goes longer in the trimester. The Python, for instance, when we work on Python, we set it up like 2 blocks are closer together. So we have like a 2 full day, 1 full day, and then another full day. So that helps a lot. So basically, the courses are organized depending on what is the best pedagogical approach for you to have, either seminars or long-term courses. Okay, any more questions? We've reached technically the end of our first meeting, which is it's not easy, but it's been interesting. I'm going to start the sharing here, Pat. Okay, do you yeah, let's see. Okay, let me know if you have any more questions. I would love to hear this. Whoops, right now. Well, I think we're okay. Okay, listen. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating, for the patience. I hope I wasn't too boring, or probably enjoyed looking at me looking at the screen closely. But thank you so much. Of course, I will give you. Somebody's asking to contact where we can reach you for further questions. Listen, yes, of course. I'll leave you my email, and every time you email me, I will copy. But Benjamin, maybe you can also write yours if you want.
Yep.
If you feel like. So that's my email. You can ask questions. There you go. I would like to probably Natalie is keeping a chart of the attendees. That way we can invite you again for our next meetup, virtual meetup that we're going to do. Feel free to ask any questions from here onwards. We will be glad to answer them.